size. A07 is a recursive implementation of the POW function. We are going therefore to go back again to tools.c, and we are just going to modify the implementation of this function. So I'm going to, as usual, rename our current implementation with underscore iterative appended to the name. And I'm going to go here and I'm going to define our new function, recursive power function. And we're going to start by getting rid of the obvious cases, which are going to be the same than in the iterative version. If my parameter b or a are lesser than 0, return -1, problem. If b is equal to 0, return 1, nothing to do. And then we are going to work on transforming our iterative process up there into a recursive one. So how do we achieve that? Well, let me space up here. Okay, so if none of the trivial case was successful, we are going to compute the power by calling ourselves recursively. So we're going to call the POW function recursively. Now the problem is, how do we modify the parameter, and what do we do with this return value? So how do we modify the parameter? Well, let's see the logic of it. We keep, when we are trying to do a power b, we keep multiplying a by itself. So we need to keep a passed to our recursive call so that we know what to multiply by. And then what are we going to do with b? Well, if I cannot do a power b, I can delegate the work to compute a power b minus 1. That would be my recursive step. Okay, so I pass b minus 1, and ultimately I'm going to end up calling myself recursively with this case, b equals 0, at which time the power function will know what to respond, 1. Let's say that I'm trying to compute power of a equal 3, b equal 2. I call POW with 3 and 2. None of the above cases match. I'm going to call POW with 3 and 1. That's going to not match any of the basic case either. That means I'm going to call POW with 3 and 0, at which time I will return 1. Return 1 to the previous recursive call. What am I going to do with this 1 value? Well, I need to multiply it by a. This is what helps me design the next step. What do I do with the result of a recursive call? I multiply it by a. Let's save. And let's see, first syntactically and from the execution perspective, how bad of a job we just did. Compiles right, execute right. We have here an implementation of a recursive version of POW, the power function.